Zeus, king of the Olympian gods. Or if you are one of those people who gets triggered when someone doesn't pronounce the name of the deity correctly, then I guess, at least once, I can say Zeus. But for the rest of us who shower every day, how powerful is Zeus? And more importantly, what does it matter? Well, I can confidently answer the first question, but before we can answer that, we have to ask, which Zeus? Because to me, there is more than one version of Zeus, and each is progressively more powerful. First, we have the version of Zeus that you are most familiar with. This is the Zeus that fights the Titans, the Zeus of the Iliad and the Theogony. You can call him Homeric Zeus, Hesiodic Zeus, Mycenaean Zeus, and any other name you want, but for this video, we're gonna call him Hellenic Zeus. The second version of the god would be his Roman equivalent, Jupiter. He is virtually the same, but significantly more powerful. And finally, we have Orphic Zeus. Why is he called that? I will explain later, but before we continue, I have to let you know that you don't need to split the god into separate versions. I choose to do that because it makes sense to me, but you are more than justified if you want to conflate all these versions of Zeus into a composite version. There is really nothing stopping you from doing that. Well, there's some contradictions here and there, but mythology is riddled with them. Now, with this out of the way, let's start with his weakest version, Hellenic Zeus. First, let's cover his basic stats: strength, speed, and durability. For strength, this Zeus can easily lift planets. You could wank him into being stronger, but moving planets is something he can do with ease. Okay, how about speed? Well, Hera, the wife of Zeus, can teleport. Ares, the god of war, is stated to be the fastest of all of the Olympian gods. And all of the Olympian gods agree that even together they stand no chance against Zeus. Based on this, we could reason that Zeus is faster than someone who is faster than someone who can teleport. Does this logically make sense? Of course not, but neither does lifting a planet. We are here for his best showings, and the point is, he's really fast. Lastly, for his durability, Hellenic Zeus minimum has planetary durability, because he can withstand the power of his thunderbolts. And having said that, we can nicely segue into his equipment, starting with his aforementioned thunderbolts. Now, here's the thing you need to understand about Zeus's thunderbolts. Zeus's thunderbolts were designed, they were crafted as a weapon to end the war against the Titans. They are not normal electricity, they are far more powerful. Personally, I like to refer to Zeus's thunderbolts as the Kerapnos. Kerapnos is just Greek for thunderbolt, but the noun separates them from a regular lightning strike. Okay, fine, so they're not normal electricity, but how powerful are the Kerapnos then? Well, they can easily destroy planets. And you can even argue that they are already universal in power, but at minimum, they are planetary. Now, the Kerapnos is Zeus's bread and butter. They are his preferred weapon, but they are not the only thing he has. Another powerful item at Zeus's disposal is the Aegis. Now, what the Aegis exactly is depends on the source you are reading. Sometimes it's a goat skin, sometimes it's a shield, sometimes it's a set of golden armor, and it can even be the skin of
a giant.
Whatever the Aegis is, there is one thing that is consistent about it. It is indestructible, and when you shake it, it makes everyone around you terrified. And after the hero, Perseus, murdered the Gorgon Medusa, her head was placed on the Aegis, and ever since, the Aegis has the power to turn you into stone if you look at it. Lastly, Zeus has an extremely powerful sword called the Harpe. The Harpe was the same weapon the Titan Kronos used to castrate his father Uranus. Uranus is the sky, as in the blue thing that you see when you look up during the day. The Harpe cut that. Uranus was an intangible abstract being, and the Harpe wounded him. Later, the monster Typhoon would use the Harpe to wound Zeus, meaning that however durable you agree Zeus to be, the Harpe can bypass that. And on top of all of this, Zeus has his own hacks. Because he's a god, of course he has his own god powers. Zeus is essentially a reality warper, in the sense that he can control and manipulate anything that exists in any way he wants. He can do things like turning people into entire constellations, and he can even turn your wits so that you make bad decisions. The crowning moment that cements his control over creation is when he turned both Poseidon and Apollo into mortals. Yeah, he just turned off their godhood. In addition to this, he can see the future, because he has a lady called Metis in his tummy. And that's it, that's Hellenic Zeus. Yeah, that's the weakest one. Now, let's talk about Roman Zeus, aka Jupiter. So his Kerapnos now can destroy the universe. And physically, he gets an amp as well. Just by moving his head, he shakes the universe. And Jupiter is not just strong, he's also wiser. He has a scroll in which everything that is destined to happen is written, and he can read this scroll whenever he feels like, so effectively, he's all-knowing. However, even with all of his power, Jupiter cannot go against fate. No matter what is written to happen will happen. But you know, that's his only restriction. Now, let's talk about Orphic Zeus. But before we get to why he's so strong, I have to explain why he's called that. So, according to myth, there used to be this guy called Orpheus. Orpheus had his own religion, Orpheism, obviously named after him. In this religion, the Greek gods exist. It was the same pantheon, except that there were some minor differences here and there. One of those differences is that the entire universe was created by a deity named Phanes. Phanes is the result of three infinities coming together: time, chaos, and ether. It would take too long to explain what these three are, but in short, the three of them are infinite, and when they combine, they create Phanes. Zeus later eats Phanes and gained all of his powers. Orphic Zeus is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, and he is no longer bounded by fate. Anyways, I think that's all I have to say. I was originally planning on wasting some time near the end of the video talking about what Zeus looks like according to the texts, but I don't think anyone cares about that, so I'm gonna end it here. That's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.